Hello everybody, welcome back to EPIC44 with Intel, brought to you by Overclockers and Asus ROG. We are sticking it back once again, and we are continuing on our bracket stage of our Valorant tournament, once again brought to you by Asus ROG. I'm Shiva, joined again by the Destroyer, Jack4.
I love these intros. Every time you intro me, I feel like there's more and more energy.
Yeah, don't mind me like switching the names around. It just sounds a lot better if I call you the Destroyer, Jack, and then 4 at the end. I think that sounds a lot cooler.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a bit of fun.
Not worthy of a name change, but still like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't change my name off it, but I mean, it's good to be here. I mean, we just finished our group play. We're now ready for the bracket. This is where it starts to get serious, you know?
Yeah.
If you lose 2 times here, you're done.
You're out. You're out of the tournament. And
there's no more.
It's a big deal. You know, the higher you get, the farther you can fall, but you got to keep on going, and that can solidify you into podium territory. This is where prize money starts to be an option for these teams, you know. This is where stuff gets real, you know.
I mean, you were talking about podium, you know, you can't lose. There are 2 teams unbeaten right now overall. I mean, no surprise, Willie G.
No surprise.
I mean, we can't expect
reigning champions of the
reigning champions, you know, all of that, but we have another, which we're going to watch here.
We do. I mean, listen, we got another team that is formed of many incredibly strong players of the former Willie G roster, and that is in 7F, who are facing Tech Fleece Troopers for this next match, the first match, or the first bracket stage match of the tournament. And I mean, man, these teams both are very, very good, but God, 7F is just so absurdly stacked.
I was looking at their games.
I don't know.
I don't think I saw one worse than a 13-4 or 5 when I was looking.
This team is insane.
They do not drop rounds, and if they do, you know, they just let a couple slip, and then they probably just get back into it. We haven't caught any of their games because we were so confident. We're going to see them in bracket. You know, groups, we know they're going to make it through.
That's the process of picking our matches, right? We try and go for ones that haven't been streamed yet, but we're not too sure they're going to get into bracket yet, you know.
And we like 7F, they're locked, they'll be fine.
7F, they're going to be in grand finals probably, if I was to make a guess. You know,
bold claim
if
already.
I'm making a prediction here, it's probably going to be Willie G 7F grand finals. If it isn't one of them, maybe Alirus, maybe.
I mean, that roster,
Alirus are also like insanely stacked. So you've got a couple super powerhouse teams in this tournament.
Yeah.
And, you know, 7F, no exception. Players like Wolverine, who was probably one of the main highlight players for not only Willie G Palace last Epic, but Epic before. He was the star player for Oasis Verde, who also won EPIC44. So he's looking here to continue his streak, maybe make it 3 years in a row. 3 Epics in a row. Sorry, not 3 years. Not that stuff. 3 Epics in a row. 3 Epics in a row. That could be a really big moment for him specifically. But on top of that, so many other stacked powerhouses. Gaza, for example, another player who was really, really good on that Willie G Palace side, now joining 7F alongside Corsa. So many other players. It's just...
There's so many stacked rosters just in this tournament overall, but I mean, something that plays into it a little bit now is, of course, these teams have been playing for quite a while today.
Fatigue,
I mean, not too bad today. You know, it wasn't too early of a start. You know, they're probably practicing from about probably 9:30, 10, depending on how much practice they wanted or when they rolled out of bed based on their alarm. But yeah, I'm sure... It's probably starting to feel it a little bit, you know? You've had a bit of time to sit back, relax, you've had your dinner, but now you're ready to lock in again. Yeah,
I mean, these top players, they got a responsible person schedule, you know? Very rare of, you know, what usual gamer culture is. It's usually all night or go bust, right? Yeah. So, you know, to see these such incredible players with so many hours dedicated to the game still be able to willingly play at their best at 9 o'clock in the morning is just crazy, let alone this late into another morning match later. I mean,
it's not too early in the mornings. They only started, I think it was Captain's meeting, it was like 10:30.
Around 10:30, 11, we'll give them like an hour and a bit to warm up as well. But that being said, their opponent, Tech Fleece Troopers, now, granted, not on paper as stacked as the 7F roster, probably not by a decent margin. However, still a very good team. They were the same duo in both Zaphis and Zeno, who both worked with other members of their team to get top 3 at EPIC41. And they were a really strong team, and they've shown pretty decent proficiency throughout this tournament. Granted, still losing to a couple of the stronger teams, falling to Willie G Palace particularly, which was one really good team that they fell 13-5 to, which might be a read into this next game, or it might not. I may know somebody who was on the team and said they played terribly against Willie G that time, and that they played a lot. They're playing a lot better now, so maybe we'll see that shift in momentum against this 7F team. That being said, they got a harsh challenge to go against. However, they did come off a very dominating victory over, oh gosh, what was the team name? They won 13-2 against one of the teams. I forgot the name of the team. But they dominated their recent opponent.
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of that because, of course, you got to remember the momentum coming into this. If you've been winning consistently throughout today, I mean, going 7-0 on the day is good, but I mean, even if you're not, you lose a couple here and there. Coming off of that win, if you can carry that confidence through, it's great, which I think this is where the first few rounds of map 1 really comes into it. Like, if you can have that hot start, that's where you can maybe see 7F start to fall back. If they can get that, get the early rounds in.
Yeah.
But if 7F start off strong, that's when you have to worry a little bit of, like, when do you get your foot in the door? When do you get back into that? But it's definitely possible for them, and I'm excited for it, but I mean, looking forward to maybe some maps. What sort of maps do you want to see? I'm curious.
I just don't want to see Lotus, man. There's too much Lotus in this tournament, and everyone's been talking about it. Why is everyone playing Lotus? I get it. It's a really fun map, all right? I shouldn't be asking why. It's obvious. It's a very fun map, very creative. I've been here for a really long time, so teams are much more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
That being said, though, God, I just want to see a different map, man. I want to see something different. I want to see some different sets. Probably going to see Lotus in the series regardless, but that being said, we're still going to have 2 different maps, which is a nice little breath of fresh air. What those maps are going to be, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. If I was to know 7F, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe themselves they picked into the Icebox. They were a very strong Icebox team last Epic with the core of Willie G Palace previously. So maybe Icebox would be an option for them. Yeah. Maybe Abyss. They were very strong in Abyss last time as well.
Abyss is always an option.
Abyss is always an option. I'm telling you now, it's a very fun map to watch and a very fun map to cast. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. For TFT, personally, I know they really like Lotus. So probably likely to see a Lotus pick from them, if not banned from 7F, depending on their approach on the Lotus. But generally, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see Lotus still played.
Yeah.
But the other maps, although we can make a few predictions, can't guarantee anything.
All I want to see, I'm saying it now, I want to see a Fracture at some point.
Fracture, yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they love Fracture.
I love seeing a Fracture game. I know it's not the greatest to play. A lot of people don't like playing it, but I feel like it's one where you can really distinguish a lot of, like, the teams that have a lot more of those protocols. They know what they want to do in the map because there's so much more space to take and so many different angles to just watch out for that it's so different to the rest. It's just a change of pace. So I always like to see how these teams adapt and play into those because, I mean, it is the only map like it in the pool.
I mean, Fracture is like super dynamic map, right? You've got so many options and avenues, similar as to Lotus when you think about it, right? It's got so many entryways, so many different entrances into the site. You've got 2 whole different ways. You've got a zip line straight in the middle, and on top of that, the angles themselves, like you said, so many twisty, turny corners, so many tight angles that you have to make account for. Also, could add an option for a lot of variation in comps.
Oh, comps
I mean,
wild.
I would not be surprised one bit to see Tejo everywhere.
I
wouldn't be surprised to see Vice everywhere. However, outside of that, you could run a lot of things. You can run the Chamber, you can run the Jet, you can run the Viper, you can run the Omen, you can run, I mean, God, the Brimstone. If you wanted to be goofy, you can run the Brimstone Fade combo. Seen that for a few times during peak Fracture moments, you know. I don't know about you, but I think of EG when I think of Brim Fade, when they pulled the orbital strike with the seas on sand.
You've seen quite a few teams start to get around to doing that.
I mean, that was like one synergy that I was a huge fan of. I don't know if that will be replicated now in 2025, as that was a big thing in 2023. But you know, who knows? Might get lucky.
Yeah,
might get lucky.
I mean, we'll have to see. But I mean, you're saying with the Fade, I'm 50-50 on the Fade. I feel like the Fade is a good pick often, but I feel like with Teo just taking priority over literally everything, you start to see a bit more of a drop-off of that because Fade was kind of one of those extras, you know, you chuck on, but now Teo's in, it's like, yeah, we picked Teo.
I think the most easy picks to predict if we were to go into Fracture would be probably Breach and or Tejo. Yeah. I think those are the most obvious ones.
And I reckon Raze.
You reckon Raze?
I reckon Raze or possibly a Neon or Yoru, but I would still lean towards a Raze.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Yoru. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a Jet.
A lot more Yoru.
Really? Wouldn't be surprised to see a Jet. I know that's a little bit based, and I know the thing is, it's easy to say that there are long angles, but one thing that I've noticed a lot with Epic in particular is that teams, although will pay attention to meta and will still look into meta, they don't necessarily always follow it. I know, for example, Yoru is hugely popular right now in VCT, for example. Very popular in Tier 2. But in Tier 3 at Epic, teams are still very much happy to go with the Jet or even go with the Reyna ISO. We've seen players play Reyna and ISO together.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we saw a Phoenix earlier on stream.
Yeah.
It was a Phoenix pick, and I was like, I did not expect to see a Phoenix anytime soon.
Yeah, you know, although we can make guesses on which ages are going to be picked, you know, there's always a little bit of options for a bit of versatility, right? You know, there are still loads of good avenues for the Fade to be played, even if it's less likely. There's still a lot of options for Jet to be played through operator aggression, long angles. I know TFT, they have a very aggressive Jet player in Sung Jung-woo, and he absolutely loves peeking aggressive angles with operators. And I don't know about you, but Fracture is kind of one of those maps where you do that.
Oh, you can just take an ego fight any time on Fracture. There's so many options.
Yeah, and I think for a team like TFT, although as players, they're very composed, very calm players. They also like to run into very aggressive strategies, and I think they're going to be continuing with that, especially off the momentum of their duelist player in Jungwoo, like I mentioned before. Loves playing operator, loves just taking stupid aggressive peaks. Granted, against a team like 7F, be a lot difficult of an endeavor. You're not going to be going against lower teams like you had previously that you dominate. You are going to go against arguably one of, if not the favorite to win the whole thing.
Yes.
So that's a different beast in of itself. But that being said, if they want to be true to themselves, if that is the true selves that they play, wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. And in that way, wouldn't be surprised to see Jet played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Jet's one of those, it kind of fell out of the meta. I mean, we all saw it happening, but
yeah,
it definitely,
she has slipped out a bit.
It has the spot. But I think another one that's interesting is like the Neon. Do we see it? Because I've seen so many times where, I mean, Neon was, of course, super popular for a while, finally gets nerfed. And then you still see quite a few bringing it in. You still see some of those teams that maybe built those compositions around the Neon and were like, we're not going to change it just yet. We still feel like there's something we can work with here. Yeah. And if you have that aggressive in-your-face duelist that's just willing to go in, take a fight, no worries in the world. We're going to see it. And here we go. We're going to get our map picks through.
Are. So the picks are in. Fracture and Bind. Unfortunately, Fracture is banned.
As expected.
Sad not to see. Maybe we'll see it later down the line.
We get another Pearl.
But we get Pearl and we get Lotus for the first 2 picks. Yeah. And if both teams get a mutual trade on the win, Haven will be our decider.
I love Haven as a decider.
I love Haven too.
I really hope we get that. It's a great decider map.
Yeah,
I love it.
agreed.
It always ends up going really long.
I feel like it's one of the GOATs of like Valorant maps at this point. I feel like nobody hates Haven. Like, I don't know.
Playing it they do, but I
really?
think watching,
you think so?
I love watching a Haven map.
I don't know about you, but whenever I played Haven, whenever I played with a team when I was doing Premiere, we loved Haven every time. We never had an issue with Haven.
No, Haven was
like we may have had like problems like in terms of performing,
yeah.
But like whenever Haven was hovered, like I celebrated. I love Haven.
That's fair.
I love Haven.
I think it's interesting to see the Pearl pick as well, because we've seen quite a few Pearls as well on broadcast. I mean, I've been there for 2 of them already. And Pearl is one of those maps that was out of the pool for so long that I think a lot of people kind of just forgot it existed. I mean, I hadn't played it in forever, but it's one of those where I think we're starting to see a lot of different compositions come through. We often see that Vi's really good at locking down those positions, but I've seen quite a few Chambers as well.
Yeah.
Now, Chamber is one that kind of fell out of meta a while back after the nerfs all came through, but still definitely viable. If you have a player who's confident on that Chamber, really confident in their aim to take these fights, and like gets aggressive but not too aggressive. Of course, you've got to keep within that range of that TP, but if you can pull it off, it can do massive stuff for you.
I mean, Chamber's a character that just inherently has an ability that gives you a free Guardian with extra zoom and more accuracy. Like, it is a crazy, crazy powerful weapon. And if wielded in the right hands, if someone who's confident enough but disciplined enough to take those aggressive angles without getting too greedy, it is a scary, scary agent to face. Obviously, the tour de force is
the tour de force is still
tour de force on Pearl is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have to say much about that. Also, again, I'm telling you now, it's a map where Jet could be played. Like, we could see Jet played on this map.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just a matter of whether or not these teams opt into their comfort picks, or if they go into what we know as like the meta maps, the meta picks. Because if I was to expect meta, I would probably expect Taeho, Vise, Jet, either Harbor or maybe Brim, depending on how you feel. I don't know. What do you think? I might be a bit base for that, but what do you think?
I don't know. Maybe an Astra.
Am I base? Yeah, Astra as well. Yes.
Astra for the range.
I forgot about Astra for some reason.
Astra works perfectly on Pearl.
Agreed. I completely forgot about Astra. I was not thinking about her.
I mean, I saw earlier they were like grav wells with the Teo missile.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
There's nothing you can do.
You're completely right.
If you're being pulled into this, like,
I was not thinking about Astra.
Yeah, honestly, Astra, another one of those that fell off the meta. We keep saying all these agents, but then suddenly they had the 5th star back, and we're in a great spot.
Thank God, right? I mean, I want to see Astra be good again for ages, just not OP like she was in 2021.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, right?
Yeah.
Finally, she's actually like reasonable power. Yeah, I know, good slot. So I look forward to seeing that hopefully be used. I mean, Astra's a very versatile, very dynamic agent to be used. Yeah. You can do a lot of funky things with it. It's a very popular agent on Abyss. In fact, you know,
I think it's all those big
very
maps.
often.
I think anything like a Lotus, a Pearl, an Abyss, anything that's just a large size where the other smokers can't get full range. Like, I mean, we talk about Clove every so often. You know, Clove is a great agent, but not as viable in these bigger maps because you just don't have the range on your smokes.
Yeah, I think Clove is better as like kind of a secondary smoke initiator hybrid, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of using her to not only be your second entry fragger to kind of go in for those trades and kind of cleanly get a heal or get out, depending on your ultimate, if your ultimate's ready or not. But the smokes are in a good enough range and easy enough to place where you can have so much control over a concentrated area.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. I mean, I'll still be interested to see, you know, who wins this Pearl map.
Oh, yeah. I am too.
It's definitely one where I think it will be a bit of a meta fight. Who has the better comp.
I mean, who knows? I mean, people could run crazy stuff on Pearl. I honestly cannot predict. You can make guesses on what agents are prioritized, but not guaranteed. But honestly, we'll have to wait and see because honestly, like you could see so many different agents. I mean, we already mentioned the plentiful of them, but we've seen agents like Phoenix get picked. We've seen so many different things throughout this map, but unfortunately we can't get to the action just yet, Jack, can we?
Not yet.
Sadly not. We're going to have to go into a little bit of a break. We are dealing with some tech difficulties from one of the players playing in this match, so we are going to go to a short break, but don't worry, maybe just take a little drink, maybe quickly grab a little extra bit of your snacks. We'll be back very, very soon. Everybody, welcome back. We are now getting into our match now, finally. Thankfully, the issue with the player of their PC has been resolved, so now we are getting straight into it. 7F against Tech Fleece Troopers.
I don't want to interrupt there, but
what the heck is that? What is that?
As you were talking, I saw the hover on the Phoenix, and I was like, there's no way this locks in this quickly.
What are these comps?
But there is a Phoenix Jet on one side and a possible Yoru on the other. No
KO, Fade? Oh my
I was not expecting a KO at all. I think the rest on the side of TFT, I expected the rest of that comp except that Phoenix. That one's thrown a bit of a crazy one in. Unless they now change over again. But on the other side, I mean, you've got the Astra. We kind of expected that. Fades, yeah, it's been played quite a bit. But Killjoy KO? I did not. I mean, KO is played well. KO is a great pick, but
KO's a good agent, but you often have a lot of other options that you would expect, particularly in the Taeho. And yeah, this is a surprising pair of comps from both sides. Phoenix Jet from TFT. That is hugely surprising.
I want to see how they put this Phoenix use, because I've seen the Phoenix played before, and the issue was with it is that they just couldn't get their foot in properly. They couldn't get the Phoenix going because, of course, your Jet is that dive duelist. They dive in, they take those fights early, but if you have a Phoenix combined with that, it can be sometimes hard to kind of distinguish the two roles. Like, which one goes in first? Like, how do you actually set each other up, play off of each other? And often the Phoenix slots into kind of a bit of a lurking type duelist role, in the sense that they'll kind of try to find those other routes through so that you can do these split pushes but have a duelist on both. And then on the defense side as well, it leaves a really good option for aggression on both sides of the map, and every round you want to play it, or even you just double up and both just run down together.
Yeah, I mean, the buff to the Phoenix wall is something that's really important to note, right? It can go through walls now, and it stands a little bit longer. That's going to be an option to go into these, and this is pole A site here. That's a big option that you can go for. I think B site, actually, not A site, my bad. Yeah. But into the B site area, that's a big option that a lot of Phoenix players, that was one of the reasons why people play Phoenix on pole, is because of that specific wall. But not only that, like you said, not only could you see that as a utility-based kind of aggressive initiator type of character, but on top of that, like you said, a lurker. The nature of the curveball flash ability will be a huge thing to mention here, especially on those slower offensive rounds where instead of going for a full execute, you're going for for example, some deceptive Astro util, some Vice backline checking with both either the Jet initiating with the Taeho, and you can have the Phoenix kind of either join you, or you can kind of lurk through mid, for example, double doors. Brilliant area to abuse curveball. I don't know about you, but like that's like the easiest area you could use.
Don't forget about, of course, Phoenix has the heal for himself. Yeah. He does not need to worry about being with the team, and he can just heal himself up. And I say that, they just start diving straight into ace site straight away, and Bark just has to back up a bit after seeing so much aggression.
Yeah, but that aggression is immediately stuffed away here, with Kubfu making some aggression of his own. Zeno spots him and tags him with a little bit of damage. But both teams opting to be a little bit passive here. You can see Corsa and the Killdrave 7F here. Hazza lurking around a little bit, pushing up to hold that double door angle. Seems like Sun Jinwoo and the rest of TFT are hesitating on whether or not they want to go into this. No flash coming out. Oh my god, Jinwoo going in. Effectively completely dry. Forced to pop the tailwind to get away to safety as the drone is now coming out to clear out these close angles. They haven't checked out the Astra stairs, and Corsa punishes accordingly with a great flank here. Hazza, though, gets trailed on slicings. Jinwoo kills Waddles on the Astra. But you can see it's suddenly just a flank-on-flank situation here, with Hazza kind of on his own against Sun Jinwoo. Manages to take the fight, and Bark finishes off Glaceon. Pistol round goes to 7F, but it could have been anyone's map at that point. Both two members here very low on the health.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of those close rounds. 7F managing to win it out, but it was one of those where you see that 7F, they're not afraid to get a bit aggressive, you know, pushing all the way up B, trying to force these players back. And even when 3 players were running down at A, they were just kind of like, you know, I'm going to push back, but I'm going to stay on the site. Not giving up that site too early. And I mean, Hazza popping off already.
Yeah, good start here. 3 kills from Hazza. A great flank from Corsa as well in particular to pay attention to. That was a huge momentum shifter. Having taken away that Taeho utility early on, really big deal. As TFT once again going into aggressive take onto A, trying to establish that space around the box. Not opting in to fully commit to the site. With classics in hand, they're taking the time to make their choices here.
Notice how Bark decides to back up there, knowing that they had the lesser guns on the other side. Knows that if he gets run down by like 3 or 4 players, he's probably not going to be able to kill them all. Instead, opts to back up. Can give up the site if they need to. They have the retake ability. But it's like slight change-ups. We saw on pistol round, he just stayed backside. He didn't worry at all. But when you've got that extra gun, if they can recover that on the side of TFT, all of a sudden it swings it a bit towards them.
Oh, Corsa, Guardian in hand, aware of that full push here, spammed it by the pistols, but killed by the Sheriff of Jinwoo. But Kubfu gets the trade onto him. The biggest Jet duelist here, the super aggressive Maestro of this TFT roster is down early on. And Kubfu wants more than that. Another kill onto Glaceon, a third onto Zeno, and the rest of 7F with Waddles backing him up takes the rest of TFT down. Initially looked to be quite scary with the opening pick down on Corsa. Thankfully averted with the rest of the team just staying alive.
Yeah, Kubfu and Waddles just combining there perfectly, but Corsa, yeah, gets caught out just a little bit, maybe trying to be a bit too aggressive standing on top of that box and opts to try and jump across the site instead of saying back box, but you know, it happens. It's okay. You only lost 1 gun into that one, and 7F will be happy with that overall. But TFT, this will be where they invest, and this is where we'll start to see the economy come into play. And hopefully they can convert this one nice and easily.
Yeah, TFT now fully decked out with their rifles. This time going with a bit more of an aggressive push onto B. Smoke is up. Kubfu now has access to that orb, and there's a little bit more to his dimensional drift points here. We're quite slow so far. That smoke is very much stopping that momentum and making TFT think about whether or not they want to opt into rotation. Seems like they will.
Watch out for that one player in mid, though. Already looked all the way up on that Vise. Managing to find this space. Make sure they can kind of hear what's going on towards A. Might have heard these players running around as Corsa decides to throw out the Haunt to try and see if anyone's there, and they're not for now. But Glaceon can kind of call this over and go, I heard them push up a bit aggressive A, and I think there might be 2 of them. Let's head back towards B and have a bit more of an explore here.
Oh, look at this pincer here. Glaceon is setting up that flash there. Now the two duelists of TFT are starting to push up through Art, and soon to bump into both Corsa and the other there, just waiting, hoping to see if they can get anything done. But squabble here from Waddles takes down Xeno. He's still got two other members.
So aggressive.
Is he going to go out the smoke? No. After that the Teo missiles come out, he's forcing himself to back up just a little bit here. Zaphis still willing to go aggressive. Only 30 seconds left on the clock. And look at the whole of 7F here, ready to fight. Corsa gets one, gets two. A third from Corsa. Glaceon makes an attempt to take down Waddles, but that is nothing off the back of Cubfu in the end. Taking down Zaphis and finishing off the round. That's a rough situation there for TFT. Corsa just dominated that start. 3 kills on the Bulldog.
I mean, even Hazard was on that flank already, ready to pick it up just in case it gets a bit, worrying on the site. You got Hazard in the back line already, ready to just pick up any extra kills as and when needed. And yeah, a really strong round there from the side of 7F. Would have liked to see a bit more out of TFT, but it's still early doors in this game, and it's going to force them onto this eco round. And we've got a couple of stingers invested through and those sheriffs. I mean, we've seen what that damage can do before, but you're really going to have to group up and play together around these guns, because you just don't have the numbers to just run into these Vandals as much.
Yeah. Zaphis throws out this Teo drone once again. Playing out those close angles. No reveal, no dice. The Bark is now taking a little bit more space. Expecting a peek, but the aggression is already in. Jungwoo! How does he get that spam kill with the sting onto Hazard? How does that happen? Waddles, though, waiting on the wall, gets one onto Sun Jin-woo. Slicing is also 1 HP, so close to dying, but doesn't fall just yet. The Phoenix still lives, but he's got a lot of little space to cover with such a stinger. How on earth is he going to be able to finish this off with 1 HP left to stand here? Arc, 7 bullets in the chamber. Haunt reveals 2. Prowler onto Slicings, and that's it. A very close round, though. TFT, although losing these 4 rounds, they're showing some competence in this match regardless.
Yeah, I mean, Slicings, the aggression on
what
the 1
on
HP.
earth?
Any stray bullet, even if it's through a wall, is taking him out there. And he still just gets aggressive with the team, swings with them, ready to take those trades as and when needed. And I mean, it pays off perfectly. He lands the shots and manages to take out a couple on the way. Only 2 players left standing, so not as many guns carried over maybe as you would have hoped.
Yeah. Once again, man, you see a lot of potential in this TFT roster, but later down the line, when members start to thin down, the individual 1v1 gunfights succeed in the favor of S7F. And this time TFT popping in the run it back, and they're going to be running through the start sector once again. Same as last round. Willingly taking this damage, willingly accepting that killjoy util. In turn, opening up that opportunity for the rest of TFT to flood in. Zaphis on the drone, checks out Hazard, swats him down water. It's going to be a continuous pinch here. Members on both sides. Cubfu in huge trouble, but gets away thanks to the teleport. And with the haunt popped, with the nightfall popped here, slowed down a little bit. The plant is still there. Zaphis is going to be planting default. A really unsafe section when you know that Bark is waiting for you. And 2 other members of 7F are pushing alongside him. Cubfu takes down Zaphis. Very low HP. And now you need to get that bomb down, otherwise you're going to be in huge trouble. And the rest of TFT are acting up to the challenge, but Bark bites back. And in turn just takes him down massively here. Glaceon with such low HP, nothing they can do. Waddles finishes him off. Again, so close to winning these rounds.
I mean, that was such a hectic round. There were so many flashes and everything, so many people caught in awkward fights. And TFT winning out so many, but then it just comes down to the last few kills and they can't close them out. And 7F bring it back so perfectly. I mean, Waddles had an operator into that round. And up on an Astra is not a very common thing, but we've seen what Waddles can do. So we're not too surprised, but decides to stay on that B site for so long, but gets the timing right. Ready to regroup with the team just about, and manages to get 2 on that round as well.
Yeah, formerly the duelist of Colt. Now coming in for 7F to play as their Astra Smokes player. Showing a great performance so far. And Jungwoo showing why he's one of the most aggressive and strongest Jet players in this tournament so far. Getting an instant pick, and Zaphis as well. Clean headshot there, despite taking so much damage. Unfortunately, Corsa is not able to join in to try and counteract this. Taken down by slicing on the stinger. And so much control now has been established here by Fleece troopers. Waddles, though, has an operator in hand and does take down Glaceon despite taking loads of health. That is a big asset to worry about here. And Fleece troopers are going to be careful with this operator. Granted, so low HP, but they're not aware of Bark on the flank here. Gets 1, gets 2, evens out the playing field out of nowhere. And look at the ultimates here available as well. Zaphis is so incredibly low, and you have this no command in the hands of Bark. Is this going to be enough?
I don't think they're going to invest the ultimates here. They just want to clear it out. Bark maybe knows there's a player backside here. He's waiting for this flash and still it's the pre-fire.
What a pre-fire there. Clean use of that prediction there. And the special surprise, unfortunately for Zaphiz, is not going to land on the right target. Bark, what a play. That pre-fire on the flash was crazy.
Knew exactly what the player was going to do, was aware that if there was that Phoenix backside, he's going to flash out and swing straight away with it. That's the issue with those Phoenix flashes. It's so predictable to see where the player's coming from because they flash round the corner that they're about to swing. Yeah. He knows this, lines up the shot, hits it perfectly full blind, and it doesn't matter. And Bark, 9-on-1 already, and it's going to cause that timeout for the side of TFT here. I think a much needed one at this point, going 6 rounds without being able to win one.
I'd honestly say this is a good time to do it. You know, you're not getting dominated on these rounds. I think they need to find to figure out a way to turn those close skirmishes into a guaranteed win. Maybe changing a slight way of post-blunt protocols, maybe a late stage. Clearly the initiation is working out. It's staying there and winning it afterwards being the issue here for this team. Yeah. So Zeno going to be talking to his team and thinking about maybe different protocols or different ways of handling those post-blunts to figure things out. Maybe a little bit of a cooldown to shut down this momentum from 7F. Because the more this goes, the more this runs, the more they're going to be able to stomp. Because I'm telling you now, these ultimates are very scary on the side of 7F. Dimensional Drift, No Command, and Astral Divide, all hugely of value. Granted, you do have the Astral Divide and Armageddon of Tech Fleece Troopers, but not really as valuable. That No Command is a big deal, especially on the retakes here.
Well, yeah, and also looking at that round just in itself, TFT managed to isolate so many fights in that early bit. They were winning all of these early ones. They were getting it down to the 1v1s, the 2-on-1s. They had the numbers advantage and everything. And then all of a sudden, you get these 2 players on the side of 7F who just, the synergy was there. They knew exactly, they had the reads, and they managed to shut it down. So as you were saying, it's one where, you know, maybe your start of round stuff is working great. But what you do at the end, you know, your setup, they planted on that close position, meant they couldn't just so sit back on long. And it just made it really awkward to take those fights.
Seems like TFT might be going into another protocol where... Oh, wait, they've given Jumwoo the op. Oh, this is very interesting. Does get caught out by the horn and in turn forces to back away just a little bit here. But he's still holding. He knows someone is going to soon dare to push him. With the op given away, goes a little bit too far. You can't lose this operator. Jumwoo, can you hit the shots? No. Operator taken away here from TFT. Corsa gets a headshot clean through. And that is a ginormous loss here from TFT. Waddles with an op of his own. Wants to try and get those kills early on the aggression out of the way. But it doesn't even mean much. Despite no draw in the op, Kubfu takes down Glaceon. And Slicing pushing through does take down Waddles. And that op is taken away. Now traded back. An op for an op, Tech Fleece Troopers like to say. With the Dimensional Drift coming out from Kubfu. Information now is the goal here.
Kubfu's spotting everything with this, and it's just going to help so
helpful.
Much. The flashes get thrown as well, and he can hop out here. He's got 2 players.
Does he have enough time to make it? No, the pincer, the double swing here from both sides is huge. Slices may get Corsa. There's a 1 versus 3. Clean shot there onto Bark, but you still have 2 more members, and too good, unfortunately, that he can't continue the chain. And that's going to give another round here for 7F.
And even then, the plant was not for him. He could have maybe popped that ultimate if the plant is slightly better, but there is no chance if he goes back on that ultimate that he's going to get there in time, and they can just stick that one on through.
Yeah, 7F also being the one to have the last laugh with the operator as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Jimwoo, not really caught in the right position to be able to make the most of it.
So this time, the op's on Hazza instead of Waddles. This is a slight change-up that we're seeing, and it looks like Hazza may be playing towards this mid position, and Waddles is playing a closer angle, it looks like.
Ooh.
So they've had a little bit of a switch-up, maybe realizing, you know, maybe TFT is starting to read into what we're doing. You know, they've had that timeout, that bit more time to talk. Let's swap it up a bit. Let's throw them off, and it looks like they're going to double up on this door with it.
Oh, Kubfu! This is extremely aggressive and very, very dangerous, but unfortunately, well, thankfully for him, doesn't go out completely unscathed, but still unscathed nonetheless. Not dead, at least. But that could have been very, very scary from either side. You got a lot of ultimates in the hand of TFT. You have that Astral Divide now popped through that A site. But it seems like TFT are using this opportunity to maybe back away, and 7F are not buying this right now. You see Corsa back on the rotation. You see both Hazza and Waddles grouping up together to go for that double hold on the double doors. But look at that. You can see Hazza eager to anticipate that flank coming through. Corsa as well backing them up around the heaven area.
TFT though,
scouting though. They're going to be redirecting back into that push. Armageddon comes out too. Could this be big enough to get a lot of lethal damage? No, just barely off. And as Slicings pushes through, knows of Bark in that smoke. Waddles though pushes through the Astral Divide, punished by Son Jin-woo. And And you've got Bark again, a star player! Rapid shots cleanly onto slicings. Although falling, this could be enough to give 7F the win that they need. Steel Garden comes out, limiting the weaponry. We still have the shorties out from both sides. And it's just Xeno.
They're just waiting it out.
Yeah, this is perfect. Exactly what you should do if you're 7F. Brilliantly done on the retake. Again, a great effort from TFT. I don't know what else to say. These guys are getting the plants so well, but they can never win these retakes. And that is the serious issue that this team is suffering with.
I mean, seeing the Steel Garden getting invested there and just not winning out, it was an issue of, I think, they maybe stressed out just a little bit too much. Glaceon caught in a really awkward spot. Ends up going down because they're popping the ultimate, can't get the gun up in time. And then it's just a little bit too early on it. If it lasts a bit longer, then, you know, maybe they get forced to take those fights with the lessened weaponry. But the players of 7F, they just go, we don't need to take this fight yet. We have plenty of time left to get this defused. We'll sit back and then wait. And then they just swing through those guns, take down that final TFT player and win out the round.
These retakes from 7F are excellently done. On top of that, TFT seemingly starting to crumble a little bit more on these retakes. Initially, you just think 7F are just playing that well, but you called out the mistake with the Steel Garden pop, right? Yeah. Not able to get the gun out on time, and it's a sudden slaughter throughout this start, but Buck again is performing to high standards. Despite his teammate falling himself, he's the one to step up and take down 2 by himself through that area. And now the momentum's slowed down drastically. Glaceon and Corsa are very close. There's up to Glaceon on whether or not he's opting to push.
Corsa has got 2 players behind pushing into B and then 1 in mid to watch out for. Got so much to worry about. As soon as he reveals his location here, they could just decide to crunch on him. But it looks like on the side of TFT here, they don't know if they have this B site or not. I mean, this Astra Shell is just sitting there. They know that this can be popped at any moment, maybe expecting to see a player on the other side of it, but there's no one there, and Corsa will finally spot out Glaceon.
Glaceon is revealed. Here comes the flash, Primrose, and not going to land anything either, but enough time bought here for TFT to make a lot of space established here into this B site. Xeno, you need to opt up, and you do. Great kill onto Corsa with the Guardian. Bark is also very, very low HP. Xeno is tagged quite a bit though, and Bark, what is this aggression here? This is insane.
Bark's still alive.
No way he catches out Zaphis here.
His timing.
He's spotted! Zaphis got the call, but too late to react! And he's still got 23 HP in hand!
But
is this going to work for 7F? No way. You see the Primrose ready
for them though. They've got to clear out these 2 last players, and there's really not much they've got to do this. It's going to rely on hitting the shots for Kubfu here.
Armed ready. Out comes the Clove. Not enough. Finally, a round win for Tech Fleece Troopers. And honestly, very well done. Bark's performance has been instrumental and the main reason why you saw the initial struggle at the start of this round. Had Bark not been 16-4 throughout this match, we could have seen so many different outcomes for Tech Fleece Troopers, but regardless of that, 7F had lost their first round, and they are using this as the momentum slapper.
This is insane to do. I mean, it's such a good play, really. I mean, we talk about the plays in the game, but even the timeout timing is really great. You know, TFT finally get that round win after losing 8 in a row, and 7F instantly slap them with a timeout and go, you're not having any momentum off of this one. We're going to sit down. We're going to work out what went wrong on that round. You know, we've won all of these others. What did we mess up on that specific round? We're going to try and fix it straight away, and it's going to leave TFT in this position of, well, we've just won. How can we replicate that? But also, we probably need to change it up just a little bit because 7F are going to be anti-stratting this. Yeah, for sure. You know, you've got both sides deliberating, thinking about their ideas and what they want to do. TFT happy with the result that they did. But unfortunately, that kind of strategy is not going to work very often. Going for a very slow lurk on a site that you are just gambling is open is not necessarily going to be the most successful. You need a guaranteed type of style to work that through. I'm not sure if this TFT strategy from last round is going to make 7F fall for it next time. I think 7F, they know this time, the big issue that they had was that they had 2 members working around A. If they had Corsa rotate round to check that B area and have Bark walk in through mid into that double doors area, then it would have been perfect. Then it would have had extra time to take the retake and maybe get some more wins, right? But that being said, A crunches.
They're going back into this A push. Jim Woo whipping out the Blade Storm. A player that we know we are very afraid of here. Shorty also in hand as an alternative if he gets into close quarters combat, walking through the smoke, getting himself into that position on the other corner. And look at where 7F are going. They're lurking through art as 3.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they want to go exploring. They realize they've given up a lot of this A-site positioning.
Go
exploring elsewhere, and it's all down to timing on Bark. I mean, We're seeing what Bark's doing. It's just Bark's
game.
Oh
my goodness, what is this aggression here from TFT? You've got the site to yourselves, and two of them are just running out there, going for those fights, so eager and hungry to get these kills. But it leads into their downfall here. The Phoenix is down, and Jinwoo does not have any options left now that the long command is activated. Zaphis, Glaceon do get a little bit of value, but Glaceon is down. Zaphis left on his own, a cool, calm, and collected player who can perform outrageously well, but he's going to be detained.
Oh, he's detained, but they don't know where he is.
Are they going to be aware?
Oh, there we go. They're going to clear it.
The tamer time is going to take a while, but yep, he's been found. And in turn, the round is there. I mean, you saw the potential for a clutch, but the timing of the Killjoy knockdown is just not going to work out for him, unfortunately. And that's a 9th round for 7F.
I mean, that's exactly what 7F wanted to do. They wanted to shut the door straight away on TFT there. You know, they just saw a little crack. They got their foot in the door with that first round, but instantly 7F answers back with a very good round. I mean, they gave up that A site. They realized they'd lost a lot of that positioning and instead opted to take a bunch of space in that mid positioning, catching a player off guard completely. And before you know it, like, just getting back into that round.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this play from Bark throughout this entire match is just exceptional. A very obvious outlier. The rest of the KDs throughout the other members of 7Up are very similar to those of Tech Fleece Troopers, where you just see there's one outlier of the KO, who once again was a pick that we didn't really think was going to come through, knowing how absurdly oppressive Teo has been on this map. But hey, that being said, insane single-hand performance here. That gives him such a dominating lead. Corsa operating his hands. Seems like they're playing hot potato with this operator at this point.
I don't know if Corsa knows that Xeno's here and waiting, but
I think looks
like he might be aware.
Got an idea.
Hubfu's got into a really good position here, just waiting out, but
there
no.
It goes.
Okay, I thought the push was going to come on through from TFT into Kubfu, but no. Instead, Kubfu wants to go searching. He's going to spot out one player.
Just the right angle, and Hazard joins him too. Nice spam coming through. That's a big, big loss there for TFT, and an unlucky one at that as well.
Yeah, it leaves them down to 2 players left. They're yet to get a kill onto the side of 7F in this round, and all of a sudden, this 5-on-2 looks so undoable. Corsa might be able to spot out one of the players, but not the one that they necessarily expected to. As Corsa still got this operator online. I mean, has to back up from this flash, but there's still so much to clear out for the side of TFT.
Oh, Glaceon, what a shot here onto Corsa. Taking down an incredibly scary operator angle. But that being said, you've still got 4 other members of 7F to take care of here. You've only gotten 1. That great shot's all you're going to get, buddy, says Hazard. As 7F get 10 on the board, double digits reached with TFT only on 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, something to highlight for the side of TFT, you've got a couple of these ultimates almost close, 1 away from that Astro ultimate. If you can get that one online, that could be massive for this round. It's one of those that's not usually a round winning ult, but it's definitely a round changing ultimate. If you can get that online, that maybe gives you a fighting chance since this stops this retake just a little bit, but it seems like whatever they do, 7F are there and they're ready, and especially with that Euro ultimate online. I mean, Kubfu can just find everyone again.
Yeah, Kubfu is practically mastered this ultimate at this point, right? Able to just instantly know where to look and where to go for in order to get that info for his team. And with that being said, we're looking at more of a very strong split default here from TFT. Playing for picks, it seems, a little bit on the slower end. Despite aggressing to get the control.
Yeah, they've left Spike behind. They've decided, you know, we're going to go exploring just a little bit, but we don't want to commit too early. Jinwoo knows that there's a molly near, but has revealed his position.
He's just missed it.
I don't know if he knows that this Yuri's in this smoke ready with this flash. Kubfu could pop through the smoke at any moment, but no. Timing not there as Bark shut down Slicings.
Yeah, Slicing's ultimate taken away, and Waddles capitalized off this team smoke. Great synergized play there from both sides. Such a safe, aggressive play here to secure that pick onto the Phoenix. And in turn, they're starting to all gather around Art, but Jinwoo once again is hungry for a pick and gets the placement just right onto Hazard's head.
Oh, Hazard was ready for that one, knew that they were there, but no, the timing was not in his favor, and 7F, they're going exploring through A. They're going to be able to clear all of this out, know that none of the team from TFT are here, and this is going to call for this rotate. Corsa's going to have a lot to do, doesn't realize there's a player mid, but just about saves his life.
Corsa! So brave, so aggressive to go into this here, and he's just going to get completely overwhelmed with util. He's not dead just yet, and Kubfu does pop this dimensional drift to secure this information,
no way,
but Corsa is just on his own with 10 HP. He walks and he falls, not even death to a bullet here, with Kubfu. Baz is back on the flank, takes down 2, and Bark finishes off the 3rd. It's 11 for 7F.
7F just, it seems like whatever you do against them, it just doesn't work. There's so many players to just stop it off, and the timings are all there. They're ready, they swing together, they set each other up, and it's just nothing they can do for the side of TFT, but we'll see that half switch come on through. this is where we can hopefully see TFT get back into it. I mean, we saw earlier there was a game where a team was in the lead 10-2.
Yeah.
And all it takes is a few of those rounds and the momentum starts to shift just a little bit. But TFT need to win this pistol round. If they lose this, it's match point for 7F. And then you're trying to win with lesser weaponry. This is really important. I really hope they have something set up here on this defense side. Because if they just sit here passively, I think 7F will just run over them.
Yeah, this is absolutely a central round here for TFT. You know, I'm honestly so shocked at how one-sided this was, because TFT, honestly, they've looked really solid in the last match or two that they've played, and they've looked honestly like they don't look bad in this match. That's the thing, right? It really is just a matter of 7F just looking that much better, so strong and so good at punishing the tiniest of mishaps that almost no other team would really call into these punishes here. But this pistol round means the world here for TFT. Jinwoo, a bit of an aggressive pusher onto the double doors, and is very aware of Hazard's presence. Glaceon, though, has a lot of info. 4 members. The wall is there. Kubfu is down, but he's not aware of Bark on the other side. Out he goes, not looking the right spot, and Bark takes that space. And out of nowhere, the site is now claimed. Jinwoo, though, wants to try and get those 1v1s, and he is winning them! Nice shot onto Waddles. Zeno joins in, takes the pick onto Corsa, avenging his friend. With Zeno and 2 other members onto Hazard. It's going to be the pistol round for TFT. We said it was essential, and it's happening now. Is this defensive half? Is this going to be the comeback for TFT?
I mean, yes, they win that round, but there's so much more to go from this. You know, in the position of 11 rounds, you have to be so flawless on all of these rounds, making sure you carry as many guns on through. Like, yes, you'll be able to invest into this one, but after this round, how are you going to win the next? They're constantly having to look forward ready, knowing full well that 7F, they're going to have the buy into next. The side of TFT here, you want to save as many guns over as possible. If you drop one of these Guardians over to the side of 7F and it gets in the wrong hands, probably Bark, that could be the round for you. So they have to be so cautious together. And look, they're stacking up as 5. They know where these players are.
Oh, this push is so aggro. Outlaw in the hands of Jinwoo. Can't land the shot. So much damage here. But he reloads. Does he get the damage? He gets a pick onto Bark. But not really exactly what you're looking for. You need more value from this Outlaw. So much money invested here for TFT. And now it's in the hands of your worst enemy here.
The Outlaw can be so impactful in rounds like this. It's one of those that can one-shot a lot of these players. And I don't think they were able to invest full shield onto every single one of their players. So all of a sudden, that recovered gun be so much more impactful than just that kill alone. They've still got so much to do, but at the moment it seems to have slowed down just a little bit. But 7F still keeping this mid press and not wanting to give it up just yet, but you've got to clear out Zeno here, Kubfu. As Kubfu just walked down all by himself. Maybe knows this wall is here. Yep, we'll jump peek this one out of the way, but it doesn't activate.
Know about the wall. Maybe it stepped a little bit too further inwards.
Recovering it.
Have to wait just a little bit to see. They know for a fact that the wall is there, and finally they bait it out. Thorns then to follow. 7F off to back away. Hazard tried to be a little bit devious, go for a bit of a cheeky pick, but unfortunately fails in that endeavor.
7F needs to pick a side here. There's only 25 seconds left on the round, and they haven't got much positioning. It's going to be a lot down to what Hazard can get done here. Can you cut off these reinforcements coming through mid as they run towards A? But there's still that player on site, and it's a Teo. If the Teo can pop some utility up, get those rockets in, and there we are. The delay utility is through, but they take him down.
Oh, Corsa, double ding clean on the draw. 4 seconds, they've got it.
The plant will go down, and
needs to kill Corsa, and he's got it. Clutch here from Glaceon. After Corsa just shredded Zappis with that pistol with the classic. Thankfully, crisis averted here for TFT. Glaceon stands alone and manages to finish off the line and get the kill that is essential for that round win. Even if he died afterwards, doesn't mean much. The round is theirs.
You say that, but you say crisis averted. We have to look forward into the future. That's a lot of guns dropped in that round.
Yeah.
We were really hoping to see a flawless round. It seems like they've still got this buy going into next, but it's a little bit shaky. And if this happens a few too many times, that's where you start to see, even when you're winning rounds, if you're not winning them cleanly, you can start to just drop off just a little bit on these guns. But they'll be okay for this one and hopefully be able to win this through. And this is where we'll see how 7F decide to set up when they have the guns in their favor.
And we're about to pop the dash. Goes for a pre-fire into dash back in. Very seemingly aware that somebody's lurking behind that door area. Not going to go with the dice just yet. Lots of util here from TFT to stall out the fight here. It's Kubfu and friends opt to back away. And look at this area from Hazard. Is Jinwoo aware? Is he going to make the most of this? He's pre-firing this angle, and he's ready to peek that. Has a beautiful punish here. Is he going Glaceon? Oh my goodness, what a clean shot from Hazard. So disciplined, so ready to hold. Slicings, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my goodness, if that was a 3-1-on-1 victory, that would have been insane. But Slicings does avert that. But it's still a 4 versus 3 with one member really low, but what a shot from Xeno to try and even it out. Corsair is down, Kubfu trades, Zaphis on the Bulldog, managed to get one himself, but Slicings falls to Kubfu, and it's now Zaphis on his own.
There's a player in the back line he doesn't know about. The patience from Waddles here could be so big, he can just wait out timing-wise, but
he's checking it!
He's aware of it!
He's going to aim and get it!
And all of a sudden, this brings the massively in favor for Zaphis. The extra health in his advantage, but Kubfu will get this spike planted, but not in the greatest position here. Needs to play close. Cannot afford to just run back, so he's going to have to play in a really awkward position here.
Kubfu, so low HP, only 45 health. Zaphis, lethal on this Bulldog. 2 very valuable kills, but Kubfu has a gun that everybody wishes they would be holding in a situation like this. Is he able to get the timing right? He does. Secured the win. Lick slipped and sealed a round. Match point locked in for 7F.
Yeah, I mean, they get onto that match point, but again, it's one of those really close rounds. We're saying how many times TFT bring it so close. Man. It's down to one player in the end there. It was a 2-on-1 clutch opportunity, but it's good in the sense they take a lot of this util out of the other side by, you know, making them onto less money. But you look at the guns from TFT, you got 2 Sheriffs, you got a Stinger, you have the 2 Vandals, but a couple of those light buys through as well. It's really not a good position for them to be in, but hopefully they can maybe shut this down, but it's forcing them to group up, and they're going to go aggressive out A, which is the wrong call, as 7F want to go for this B site.
7F, a 4-person charge with Hazard lurking around the mid, seemingly theorizing of maybe a wild Jin Woo peeking around, but that Theo drone does indeed confirm that there's no one there. Maybe not catching it, but the shear is activated here. Now Kubfu on that dimensional drift, alone here to clear, but has plenty of time to give himself the space needed to hold on and wait for his team to arrive here.
Backside control already.
Glaceon though, position. Very important here. They're not catching on. Glaceon! Oh, look, a little too eager on the draw, not able to hit the shots needed. As Bart counteracts with a shot to the temple on the Guardian. Slicings on that Stinger, takes down Hazard. Zaphis, this angle is huge. Does whiff a little bit on the initial spray, but gets one. Is it going to be enough?
In the back.
How comes to run it back here? Xeno gets a pick on the Kubfu. How are they reading these things right now here? Bark, though, gets 1, gets 2. A kill onto Zaphis and a kill onto the other one. Corsair! What a flank coming through. Essential to give 7F the map win. Slicings needs to be the hero.
It's not planted for a
holding on to the defuse. He halves it. Is he going to get it in time? Dingus through. Only 5 bullets in the chamber. And it's Corsair for the clutch to give 7F the map win.
What a clutch from Corsair
at the end there. What a play, man.
A 1v3 gets into the perfect positioning, clears out all these players. And even though Spike is not planted, the other player gets a bit too nervous. Yeah. Pops off that defuse, and Corsair just able to shut that one down and make sure nothing else goes there. But a really dominant showing from 7F.
Yeah, listen, this is a really tough situation because I feel like the scoreline doesn't nearly represent how good this match was. This was a very exciting match. Every round had so many intense moments. Every round had so many close quarter 1v1s that could have gone either way, right? And, you know, it's deceptively poor looking for TFT. I think they actually really kind of deserve a pat on the back for how well they did, despite losing so many rounds. The issue is 7F was so strong on the retake, and on top of that, TFT just barely not able to eke out those finishing wins. Yeah. Every time, probably for around half of the rounds played that 7F won, TFT were inches away, a tiny play away, a slight change on the aim away from winning that round.
Yeah, I mean, one player to highlight there really is Bark. I mean, Bark popping up already. If he can keep this going throughout the rest of the series, I think it's just going to be a 2-0 at this point. Yeah. You've got to shut him down, but we'll have to see about that soon, as we're going to throw to a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the rest of the action for Map 2.
Yeah, it won't be too long.
Nothing to obey, we're tearing down our own way. Can they see our souls are one? Path to the sun has begun. Don't ever be afraid, forever our fates are made. Everywhere there's Saturdays, we have future here to stay. I'm peeling back the skin from the person I've been. Don't wanna be tied down, can you see the light? Throw your face to the stars, far away with no scars. It's written in my cards, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is my reality. Feel like the skin, I'm not the person I've been. We're heavy hitters, we deliver, yeah.
Never stop gaming.
Welcome back, everyone. We're back with some more Valorant action. We saw that
more
first
Valorant
map.
cinema.
I mean, that first map. Criminal that we didn't get more rounds. I want to see a lot more in this one.
That's what I'm saying.
We saw that first map of Pearl. It was a stomp. Let's just put that one in the past. Let's move on to Lotus. Now, Lotus, one of those maps, you can start to see a bit of fun coming in, a couple fun different compositions, and we'll see where this goes. But I just need TFT to fight back.
We need it. I mean, they have been fighting back. I just don't know how on earth they didn't win more rounds on Pearl, man. Like, they got robbed. They got absolutely robbed. Yeah. I'm calling it now. But not because I'm biased, and I know a friend who's playing on the team. Anyway, moving on. Lotus. Now, let's be honest here. This map is a bit too popular. We've been seeing it everywhere, right?
We see this map too often.
We are seeing almost every team play it, it feels like, if not all of them, outside of the few occasional better ones that we see. But it's there for a reason. It's been played a lot. Teams are very comfortable on it. It's been around for a long time in rotation. And it's a map that opens up a lot of creativity in your style, in your comp. We've seen a lot of various strategies. However, generally, most of the time, it's the same-esque kind of comp, with usually a light shift. But I think the most common meta comps that we see are with Taeho and Vise once again, which were
If we don't see a Taeho, I'm surprised.
I'm going to be surprised if we don't see Taeho. I have not seen Taeho in the other games that we've seen. However, finally, look, straight away, TFT are running in that Taeho once again.
But no Vise. You wanted the Vise.
Yeah, I was thinking.
No Vise on that side, but a Vise on the side of 7F for now.
I'm wondering if 7F themselves are going to go into the Taeho, because they did run it last time.
I think it's interesting as well to see the Omens on both sides. Omen's one of those smokers which kind of falls off on quite a few other maps, but this is one of the maps where he can pay off massively. I mean, a lot of these little alleys where you can send a blind down, you can blind up their whole team, run on through it. But then if you combine that with something like the Taeho util, I mean, that ultimate, if you get an Omen blind through, send that ultimate down, they're all gone.
It's going to be Bark here on his signature breach here. Hazza seemingly hovering over that Vise, but it might be a Killjoy instead. He did play Killjoy last round on Pearl, so we have to wait and see. But this comp here from 7F is very, very expected, and probably, in fact, probably the most common comp that we see generally throughout the competitive scene on this map for a long time. Maybe since Taeho's release would be a valid exception outside of that.
Taeho's release has changed a lot of compositions.
Before Taeho decided to come in and put a wrench in everybody's works and everybody's studying of this map, it was practically the same comp very often, maybe outside of a switch of duelists. Maybe the occasional switch between Killjoy and Cypher. But outside of that, it's been the same kind of comp for a very long time. You're always seeing the Fade, you're always seeing the Raze, you're always seeing the Omen for the most part. If not Omen, it's always Viper. I mean, this one does open up a lot of creativity, but I'm really curious to see how TFT will handle this comp, because I see Taeho but no Vise. Instead, it's going to be the Killjoy. I wonder if that's going to alternate in the type of style, because usually we see them both work together very efficiently.
Yeah, I think another duo to highlight in the sense of that is the Fade Raze. Fade Raze combos can pay off massively on this map. If you get the right positioning, I mean, it stops these pushes down this long angle.
Easily.
I mean, so many times you'll see teams do it, and all that happens is you get the Fade util sent down, a Raze nade, and all of a sudden you've lost a couple members in a couple of weeks. But it's definitely one to watch out for, but I think it'll be interesting to see the Taeho mix-up. I mean, seeing Taeho come into all of these maps, it's nice to see one without a Taeho.
Yeah,
but also, I think it's one of those where you have to be careful. Like, not picking the tail is a bold choice, but I mean, with the breach online, I mean, I'd expect it to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, with 7F's comp is literally the definition of that, right? You've got the Omen for the aggressive blinds. You've got the Raze for the, like you said, the double satcheling, taking charge of either of those sides of the map. You have Bark on the breach, instant combo, Fade with the Raze, instant combo. You can do a lot of things with this comp, and that's why it's been so damn popular throughout this entirety of its map's history, practically since, I don't know, what, early 2023 when the map released, basically. Yeah. It's been insane how good a comp is, despite knowing how much versatility you can have on a map like this. But into the pistol round here, TFT, opening pick here onto Hazard to start this round off.
High-low setup that early. I mean, it's a bit of like a deep one, but to be on the high and low steps there, it means there's just no chance of winning that fight really at all.
Yeah. TFT back against the wall from that previous map. They need to redeem themselves and hope that momentum doesn't affect them too hard, because they got to win this map and take us to game 3 if they want to make this a series. 7F so dominant. Sorry, able to. Waddles barely surviving the onslaught, the Killjoy utility, but unfortunately, the rest here of 7F not really able to make the much of it, as Xeno with 2 kills on the Classic, maybe even a third against Kubfu. Not the case. Kubfu takes him down, with Glaceon and Zaphis both holding on to higher, lower angles. Sunjin Wu also coming in very, very soon. They're aware of Kubfu's position, so they're going to be stacking up and getting the punish here. Finally, an opening win here from TFT.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we want to see. After a map like that, TFT, you need to hit the reset, get those rounds on the board early. That's where you're going wrong. You had the plays to keep yourself in the game the whole time, but you just weren't getting those rounds. Get those nice and early into this game, and this is where we can hopefully start to see them build that up nice and early on to stop 7F from just breaking them down like we saw last time. But it looks like 7F going to go for this full save on the other side. Only a couple Sheriffs and 1 light shield thrown into the mix. We often see teams, you know, chuck a couple extra Sheriffs in there, but only the 2 on this round.
Interesting ploy here for the buy here of 7F. Maybe just relying on their signature sharpshooters to deal as much damage as possible, leading them to maybe do a bit of a half buy in the round afterwards.
Making sure to get those orbs onto the right players, opting to get it onto the Raze. Trying to get Kubfu's ultimate online so early. I mean, it's one of those where if you have that Raze ultimate online, you can just send them in. You can just say, you go in, you push everyone back, the rest of the team follows in, takes the site for free, and you hopefully get a kill or 2 on the process.
Seems like a little bit of a shift back here for 7F.
Drone is down.
Zaphis' drone is detected. Corsair alone on the Sheriff. Waiting to see if anybody's round rubble, but doesn't see anything. He's going to soon be peeking that long angle, but on top of that, 7F are going for an aggressive push onto the B. 4 members here going in their own. Double satchel invested here from the Raze as well of Kubfu. Jim Wu, though, takes down Corsair off screen from that long angle. That's an invaluable asset of a weapon to have. But with this retake, it's not going to be as helpful. They've made a good choice here, 7F, going for this B push. Yeah, you got a lot of tight spacing control here, and with the battles coming through, it is TFT to come out on top here. Hazard only with 1 kill onto Glaceon, with Waddles left on his own, Classic in hand, only 37 HP to bear. Jin Wu with the bullet to the back, and a bit of spice on top of that too.
Jin Wu maybe getting a bit confident there, you know, maybe a bit, I would say maybe a bit too early.
Jin Wu's style is a style that requires ego. If this gives him more ego, I'm looking forward to it, you know?
I mean, we'll have to see what he can get done here. I mean, 7F, this is going to be the round where 7F realistically come back into this. We expect, you know, you win the pistol, you win the second. Now, if you can convert that third round, like we saw from 7F in the first map, that's where we start to see the strength of this comp. But 7F, they're going to have all of these guns coming on through, and on the other side, you've got quite a lot of those light shields, but 7F making sure to get the heavy on all of them, so Jin Wu is not going to be able to get much done with that Outlaw.
Yeah, full shield solidified here for all members of 7F. Not to devalue the Outlaw entirely here, you can see the Killjoy alongside Jin Wu, armed and ready to punish and pounce when that damage of the Outlaw comes in. Yeah, Jin Wu once again, characteristically so aggressive! Hazard just barely misses on the kill, and 4 more members of 7F are running out through the baby door. Glaceon left on their own, not able to get the punish right. Vandal and have for Jin Wu, not enough. Bark and Kubfu take them both down, and TFT now need to rotate and pray that they can somehow get a pick on this highly oppressed C site.
A great statue as well from Kubfu there, just to break that crosshair placement from the player and just force them to win that fight, but it gives them a really nice setup here. They've got those 3 players on site, 1 watching for the flank. They're just going to sit and wait for this, knowing that these rockets will come in from the side of the Teo, forces them back just a bit, and they get blinded up as well.
Oh, out comes the Horn. Maybe a little bit missed on the angle. I believe there's an option just at the very top corner that you could land on, but unfortunately it is a swing and a miss here for Corsair. That being said, though, the smoke is a very thin line between a slaughter here. Slicings gets one, but concedes the rest of his team as 7F managed to just barely convert that win. Look at the HP numbers on 2 of the remaining players. Yeah. This could have changed very easily.
Yeah, 3 players standing, which, I mean, they'll take that. Keep those guns on through. They're going to be able to force up mostly into this round. Hazard's going to have a slightly lower buy from the rest of the team here, but maybe be able to get thrown over a rifle from a different player. But you look over now, and Jinwoo's picked up the Operator already in a round 4. Now, the Operator this early on is definitely something to watch out for. Jinwoo's clearly really confident what he can get done with this. But you've got 7F. It looks like they're going to crunch into this to start us off.
Yeah, instantly an aggressive push here coming through here from 7F. Loads of space required, but Jinwoo on his signature Operator gets a very nice shot onto Kubfu. Mid-satchel, I believe, as well, or just barely land onto rubble. This is absurd aggression here from the Jet of TFT. And with the push coming through, Babydoll Slicing is on his own in the Taeho, blind and vulnerable here, but he does use the missile to defend himself, keep that distance at an arm's length.
Yeah, just trying to keep as much distance between him and the players pushing on through, and it causes 7F just to pause a little bit. If they opt to go into this A side, they're going to have to be careful with this Operator. Jinwoo's still online with it, but gets smoked off. This is going to be where 7F can maybe get into the site here for free, forcing all these players back, but the Operator's still there!
Nice shot as well, evades the bullet from Waddles! Jinwoo! What on earth is this aggression? What is this finesse from this aggro maestro of this TFT team? What a play! Enough to effectively guarantee the round unless some magic comes through here from both Corsair and the Vice here of 7F. What are we going to see here? Jinwoo, Decade doesn't care. He's got 11 HP. He's the best person to get Decade here. He's going to be pushing up a little bit, holding more angles, clearing a bit more space. Xeno up top tries to get the clean out. Flash comes out as well. So much space slowly being claimed here from the members of TFT. Hazard may get one, but that's all he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, a great round there from TFT, making sure to fight back in. You know, you give over that third round that you're expecting, but the Operator players there from Jinwoo, like, getting away with the first, fine. The second, you're like, okay, what's going on? And then the third, the confidence of that swing on that low HP gets taken down so low and still wins that fight out. And that's why Jinwoo invests into that Operator so early on. Round 4 Operator is such a big risk, but it pays off massively. That's
why I said to you earlier, you know, a player like Jinwoo, if he's BMing early, he needs the ego to shift. He is a player so aggressive and so capable, he needs to know he can. And he can, and he does, when he's got that confidence impact. And this is giving TFT a huge advantage going through into this now. As they start keeping that aggression up through C-Mound, it is a 4-man push here of 7F. Prowler does reveal one, but not give away the Operator. But unfortunately, that stun forces Jinwoo to hold behind this mound area. Can he get one? No, just barely misses on that shot onto Hazard. And Kubfu punches accordingly now. Glaceon left on their own. On top of that, 7F have an Operator at their disposal if they choose to use it.
Yeah, I mean, they had those 2 players on the slightly lighter weapons. They might opt to invest on this, and Glaceon gets pressured really hard by Kubfu there. Kubfu finding that kill, and all of a sudden they've got the side, but there's still a player here waiting.
Oh, there's a plain beautiful shot there onto Kubfu. Unfortunately, not enough here to take down the other members of 7F here. Of course, the punish is right. Gets the right kill. TFT with 2 members left alive against 4 on the post plant. Up to them now to decide on whether or not they want to commit to this. Hazard, look at this flank as well. It's just
in such a good spot.
And the proof is in the pudding here. With the flank coming through, TP in his face. Not going to mean squat, unfortunately. As in turn, it's just Zephyr's alone. He's choosing to go for that save. Maybe a little bit aggressive exit frag angle here. Gets one, but not the rest, unfortunately. And you hate to think maybe a further away angle, a safer angle perhaps, might have been the better option here for Zephyrs.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where, you know, maybe get a bit too aggressive, but that shutdown on that Operator, instantly 7F identifying this is what we need to focus on. If Jinwoo has this Operator online, it's a worry for us. We tried to shut it down around before. This time, gets the stun through, forces him to get stuck in that mound position after the stuns now do slow down those dashes, and all of a sudden, Jinwoo just can't get out.
I was about to question the Operator buy here from Jinwoo, but it seems like he's going to be changing it up a little bit, going into full util and a buying for his teammate, I believe.
They're getting those knives online, and Jinwoo really wants to get aggressive down here.
I wonder what util's going to be used to back up Hazard here. Orb is going to get taken away. The 7F in the meantime are going for a huge take onto the B site. But not really much contention here. Jinwoo unfortunately falls down. So does Xaphis to the hands of Hazza. And with a valiant attempt here from Xaphis onto Kubfu, it's not going to be enough. He is taken down himself as well. 7F with still 5 players alive take full control of this B site.
Yeah, we're starting to see a bit of that 7F from that first map. They're really getting back into this already. That team that just shuts down people. I mean, Hazza able to shut down 2 by himself, not allowing anything to be done. And now he's just going to sit back and watch for this flank. There is no opportunity for it.
Yeah, I mean, TFC, they're just going for that save straight away. I don't think they're even considering or daring to try and get aggressive here. They're just going to be opting in to back away. You still have that Steel Garden and Showstopper available. And I don't know about you, but on a certain scenario in a certain position...
Oh, Corsa maybe not realizing where that's going to get to.
Corsa, are you okay, buddy?
Gets taken out.
Yeah, it's alright, it seems to one.
Extra gun, it's okay.
Not that bad, but you know, it's 3,900 credits is 3,900 credits. I don't know about you, that's quite a bit of money there to fall out in the bomb, but still not too big of a deal. He still can afford everything, and his teammate could buy him double up, so nothing to worry about here.
Something to bear in mind as well. I mean, Bark here hasn't bought the heavy shield. Now, it has plenty of credits for it, 5,300, but this could maybe lean towards that they might want to get an operator or something online in the future round if he's deciding not to do that. Or maybe he's just that confident that maybe thinks TFT won't have the guns into this round.
To wait and see. Xeno with an attempt to try and get an aggressive angle. Unfortunately, can't really find it.
Kafu's going to go for the satchels into the ultimate, surely.
Oh, Jinwoo alongside Xaphis. Again, so aggressive, but can't win the fight against Corsa. They're pre-aiming these perfectly. These double stacks on these angles are so well played. Hazza with the kill onto Xaphis. Unfortunately, he's traded out by Slicings. Guardian in hand. And the full rest of 7F are starting to commit to this push onto A. But the stun is missed here. But even so, Slicings can't make the most of it. And he's taken down. Again, a 4 versus 2. Soon to be a post-on situation. Again, the same members of TFT practically sitting ducks here. They have to be so aggro if they want to find a round win. If not, they're going to be forced to save once again.
I mean, Glaceon's got in such a good position there. Able to shut that cut through already, but so many players to deal with, and now they know where he is. I think before that, TFT were maybe thinking about going for the save, but Glaceon managing to find it first.
If Xeno gets this pick here onto Hazza, or Waddle, sorry,
Face your fear.
This might be huge. Nightfall is out here, reveals the position of both players. Waddles takes down Xeno, and with Glaceon's position also revealed, forced to try and reposition to catch a north front angle, but it's not going to happen. Waddles takes him down, and that's a 4th round here for 7F. The lead is theirs.
Yeah, 7F managing to bring it back into this one. You know, we said about it was a bit of a shaky start going into this. You lose that pistol round, that's fine, and then the second is okay, but then starting to lose a few more into that, but then all of a sudden, the 7F from first map comes back, and they've got these 3 ultimates online. Same for the other side as well, but it seems like 7F got their confidence back.
Yeah, like to see it. Thankfully, with although a bit of an abrupt start off of a very, very scary Sun Jinwoo on the operator, they seem like they're learning how to evade around that. They're doing those double stacks to counter that Jinwoo aggression. They're not letting him isolate any fights, which is very excellently done and very quickly adapted as well. Ultimates, though, are very close on both sides here. You've got Rolling Thunder, you've got Armageddon from Texas Troopers, and for 7F, you've got the Steel Garden, which has just been popped, alongside the Showstopper and the From the Shadows here. With this primary jam, Glaceon trying to get a bit of a pick in with the Sheriff, but no joy. Gonna be backing away and letting the plant come down.
Yeah, I mean, Kubfu's gonna get aggressive. The ultimate knows the player in the corner and shuts him down straight away.
You almost whipped it there. Thankfully, still lands it, but Showstopper for just a Sheriff is a bit interesting here. Jinwoo, nice dash with the destruction, actually. Nicely done here. Jinwoo punches again, another kill. Another from Jinwoo, not a third, sorry. A second kill from Jinwoo, but that being said, a really nicely done kill.
Corsa's still here though. Corsa's not been spotted. Corsa gets so much done.
Again, a 3rd hit from Jinwoo. Rolling Thunder invested onto Kubfu. They're fully committing to this fight. Kubfu's satchel is perfection though. Is someone going to stick? No. 6 bullets in hand. 48 health. Who wins this? Jinwoo, is there enough time? He's halved it, but he can't finish it off. The time is running thin, and that's enough. Kubfu, with the discipline of a monk, will keep their team alive with the clutch. Jinwoo coming with the final stab, but doesn't really matter. That's a stab in vain there. Yeah. As TFT, I mean, how does that fall apart?
I mean, a slight blunder there from Jinwoo. If he'd stuck that one through, there's a good chance he doesn't get cleared off, and that would have been the round. But He did not know that. He had no way of knowing, expecting that swing on through, and it was a perfect play on the other side. Just knowing you don't have to be aggressive. He's going to probably get off at the half expecting the swing. And then from that point, it's just run that clock down. Yes, you get killed off by that knife, but he also does not carry a gun through. But Jinwoo's got that operator online again, and it's a worrying sight always.
Indeed. You know, usually I'd like to think that players who name themselves after...
back line though.
Oh, what the heck? Waddles? Okay, I'll go back to my line later. Glaceon does catch him though, thankfully. Waddles, the threat is shut down, but Corsair on the other side does take down Xeno. And the rest of TFT are going to be opting into this rotation. Glaceon still has that lockdown in possession. But Jinwoo, what is this position? Nicely done there. And another peak! Jinwoo! Wallbang through. Bark is also down. The tap is in from Corsair. But the Primrose Flash is also there. Jinwoo may get taken down, but Corsair, hold on! 4 kills! 1 more until the ace. Corsair, you've got to be kidding me. You've suddenly turned this from a dire straight to a potential clutch ace here.
This rotate, I mean, it looks like he's going for rotate. Might get the timing right.
Zafis is aware. He's gonna catch it. Who wins the fight? It's Corsair! Ace secured! Incredible clutch! These individuals are why 7F are one of the teams favorited to win the whole damn thing. That amount of skill, that amount of patience is immaculate.
I mean, Corsair just popping off in that round. Just picking the team up on his back and going, don't worry guys, I've got this one. The first ace I believe we've seen on stream as of yet. And I mean, just a shutdown from Corsair there, and it causes this timeout. Because TFT, I mean, we look back to the beginning of the game. They were up 3-1, and you're like, this is a great start. This is what we needed, the bounce back we were expecting from them. And then 7F just come back with that aggression from the last map. And all of a sudden, you've got the players popping off, and it's not Bark this time. No, it's Corsair.
This is that is a devastating round for TFT. Jinwoo was on a high, getting so many kills. 3 kills with the operator. 3 kills, you know, not even holding those longer defensive angles. He was running in, peaking with that operator. And maybe, just maybe that one time, that over-aggression was his downfall.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's so gifted, so powerful on this gun, but sometimes that overheat can only do so much. And against a player as revered and as tenured as Corsair in this tournament, that's a mistake you wish you'd never make.
Yeah, I mean, a 1v3 from Corsair, shutting down all those players. The aim was on point. But, I mean, still, you've got to be careful of Jinwoo on the other side. Jinwoo going 14-5, really able to carry his team through here. And as those knives online, will probably opt to use them into this round. Save for next, get that operator back online as soon as possible. But it looks like this is not going to be where the team's going to go for 7F.
Where are you?
Late storm invested here from Jinwoo.
So aggressive.
TFT continuing to commit to this aggressive star of their duelist. Jinwoo this time taking it slow. Seemingly theorizing that there might be a cheeky little somebody hiding around that corner. Glaceon though gets picked Corsair off screen. They may have not cleared Hazard though, and Slicings is taken down.
Perfect read from Hazard there, being patient to wait back.
Waddles, they haven't checked Waddles either. Glaceon is down. It's a trade from back and forth here. Jinwoo gets the most recent blood onto Waddles. It's a 2 versus 2. Does Jinwoo get the shots? No. Misses the shots here onto the Vice. But Hazard then bounces back, immediately knowing that he needs to retreat to back up his teammate. And he punishes very well there. Concussed coming out from Zafis to find nobody. Sheriff alone in hand. What can he do? 1 flash in 30 seconds until his stun is out. This is not going to be enough here. Fault line in the hands of Bark, waiting for the right moment. Damage dealt, but no death yet. Doesn't mean much here. Hazard's on the other side. Raids finish the job.
That was such an awkward round. So many players just seem to be like
crossing
like ships in the night between each other, and it just left for these spots where teams, they were kind of just playing in the same positions, like together almost. Kind of didn't realize where they'd got to, and it just led to this really awkward set of fights that 7F come out on top from. And that'll bring us to 7-3. I mean, that's 6 in a row now for 7F. We've seen what they can do with momentum, and I mean, the credits are easily in their favor, but Kung-Fu hasn't got a gun just yet. I'm assuming that he's going to get one bought over, as there we go. Yeah. Slightly worried there with the time ticking down, but TFT, you're going to have that operator on Jinwoo again, but it's not going to be the right call on where he's playing.
Jinwoo, always a player to be very highly feared on this rifle. You know, I'd often make fun of players who name themselves after overpowered anime characters, but I feel like this Jinwoo has the right. He is him.
Definitely a powerful player here.
And, you know, with that in mind, this operator still could be a massive value here. The rotation and the flank coming through. Look at this aggression here. This 4-man push as well on the B site from 7F. They are waiting for the right moment to capitalize. But while that time is ticking down, Jinwoo is there. And 7F are soon going to be wandering into his crosshairs. Are they ready? We could even see a Clara. The timing is right. No, the leg is missed here. And Jinwoo's being flooded here with utility. Needs to run away. Glaceon has his back on one on the door. But Jinwoo is pinned to the ground here. Not able to do anything as Corsa gets the second. And the operator, the explosive X factor for this team is again down.
Oh, Corsa's going aggressive again. Wants to keep going. Wants to go for another ace.
Come on, man. What is this? It's just one more. It's another ace for Corsa.
2 aces already in the space of a few rounds. How is Corsa doing this?
This is a magical performance from him, man.
Corsa's really showing where he belongs to be there. This is why they got Seed 1 in their group. They have the players to back it up. I mean, we saw Bark in last game. Bark sitting at the bottom just chilling. He's like, don't worry, Corsa. I had last game. This one's yours.
Here, take the sunglasses. Hey, I was wearing them earlier. Take the sunglasses. You can look cool this time now.
This is all
you don't even need Bark to continue his performance when you have players like Corsa doing this good, man. And he was doing great on his own last game as well. An essential clutch that won his team the map last time. And now carrying that momentum on to win even more. Kubfu, a pick onto Zaphis. A trade, though, from both sides already onto this A attack here. As TFT, unfortunately, lose the fight as Corsa gets a double himself. The train doesn't stop. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
It's just, Corsa is the player to watch in this map right now. It seems like he can do no wrong. Everywhere he swings, he just seems to find the players, knows exactly where everyone is. Feels like he has a UAV on the map.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Oh, now he knows.
They're willingly investing this knife into the final round here. And Glaceon, even if he pulls up the lockdown, it's not going to be enough here. This is absolute domination from Corsa. I mean, this is why he is a back-to-back 2-time champion of this event. And this is why he is the candidate to once again be the one to claim the tournament. And on top of that, claim the very lovely prizes our friends at Asus ROG are willing to add on, not only to our prize, but will also give peripherals to the MVP of the grand finals. It might just very well be Corsa at this point. Like, this guy is crazy right now.
Corsa probably saw it and went, I kind of want those things.
I'm going to
go for this.
I kind of fancy. Asus ROG, can't miss that, you know. Gotta flex my muscles a bit and let him know who's the best.
I mean, we're going to see this swap over to the defense side here, and this is where Corsa can maybe even continue to get activated. I mean, Fade, one of those agents where, you know, you see somewhere the duelists, they can pop off on that attack side, and then they start to slow down a bit on the defense. But Corsa, he wants to keep going. Here we go. That's the synergy of the utility. Unable to catch anyone just yet, but Corsa, he wants to keep walking. He's got that confidence. He has that ego.
That being said, though, Jinwoo, sheriff in hand, dash about to pop, takes down the current MVP of this map here in Corsa. And he is moving back away to rubble, though. Is he going for a peek again? No way, you've got to be kidding me. Jinwoo, good lord. Risks are not a thing to this man. As he runs through door with the rest of his team here. Kubfu gets one. A little bit of damage taken away, and he gets away unscathed here. But he's still got more in fight in him. Takes down Slicings. Finally broken down by Xeno. But that's a lot of damage done, even out the playing field. What is this going on here? What is this? What is that?
That blind was insane. I mean, it manages, the Bark wins it out, all left down onto Glaceon. Managing to get first, though.
Still, though, hyper valuable weapon here. Tons of damage viable. Spots Waddles, but can't get the right damage in time as Hazard finishes them off. It is a 10-3 pistol winning round here for 7F. And sadly now, the momentum seems all but done here for TFT. Yeah. A brilliant start. Brilliant showings throughout the match here. But it's the same story as last time. Be it how close, be it a 1v1 or be it a flawless. No matter how close TFT get, they're never going to get the point.
I mean, 7F, that's now a 9-round win streak. I mean, we saw it in the last map. This one, it just feels a lot less good for TFT. TFT in the last map were able to keep so many of these rounds so close, but in this one, it seems like 7F just have these reads. They're able to shut down so much more. But Jinwoo, still one of those players to watch with that Marshall in hand. He's got to be the catalyst on this attack side. As Kubfu tags out one of the players super weak. Gonna send that nade in to force them back. But yeah, got to keep the eyes on Jinwoo here. If Jinwoo can land a couple shots, maybe get his team back into this could be good. But
oh, Zaphis, what a lethal shot there onto Corsa. Shutting him down once again here. Waddle's also forced to back away with the Teo missiles coming through as well. Jinwoo with a Marshall in hand, in fact. Again, a very lethal weapon as long as it's in the right hands. 101 damage to the body, a very valuable number to think about. If you can't get the head, get the body. But Bark with the Judge, he's just running through like a Call of Duty! Bark, it's magical, man! 3 kills with the Judge, single-handedly flips the round in his team's favor. And even if he goes down, Waddles picks up where he left off. Gets another kill onto the Tejo here on TFT with Glaceon again left on his own. There is nothing this team can't do.
There's no way a Judge should be getting that much on a map like this.
Just
to run in, jumping, get that free. Look, he's going to throw the gun straight back over. Have it back, it's all yours, Bark.
He's just strolling down like he's on a little walk in the park, you know, casually blowing up some of his enemies in the meantime. But this is a tear here from 7F. They're running Judges on this team.
I think Bark was just a bit like, Corsa, actually you're having a lot of fun. I kind of want to have a bit of that. Let me get this Judge run in and just kill 3 people just for free with it. And, I mean, it gets picked up again. It's just such an impactful gun. And it means that they have so many of these guns going into the next round because they were able to shut it down so perfectly. And it looks like they've got this stack right. They've got 4 players playing over towards the C site for 7F. And if you look over at TFT, they also have 4 going in, but the spike is not invested just as yet.
Oh, Jinwoo, timing not on his side there, quickly goes down as Corsa joins in on the kills, takes down Zafiz after the flash. The Slicing's here, he's in a tough corner. Corsa again, man. Another kill, a flawless from 7F. First time in a while we've seen a flawless round.
Yeah.
It goes to show how good this TFT team can be, but God, 7F are so good. What is this, man? 20-7 from Corsa. It is cinema. This guy is in his own action movie, for crying out loud.
I think Bark's also just woken back up. He finished the last map, had a bit of a rest at the beginning of this one.
20-7.
And he suddenly went, oh guys, I'm still playing. I just got to do this. The 13 assists is insane, showing that he's really the catalyst to get people in.
Yeah.
Setting up the rest of his team. I mean, on that breach, that's all you need to do.
Yeah, legit. I mean, look, the guy's 20-7. This guy, these are not usual scrubs of the game here. These are formerly ranked 3rd place at EPIC44. This goes to show how dominant a single team can be. And while Zafiz gets 2 of his own, he is about to face the firing squad of the remaining 3 members here of 7F. The ego peaks are true. The confidence is all that they need. It is a domineering one-sided win once again from 7F, the favorites to win it all.
I mean, 7F just really showing us there why they went 7-0 in groups.
Yeah, literally.
I was looking at it, I was like, you know, this 7F team, they're kind of good.
They're kind of crazy.
And then suddenly we see this and I'm like, okay, I see what was going on.
Yeah, I see why everyone thought they were them, you know? Like, they're them.
It's one of those where a lot of the time you see these really successful teams and you have that one standout player. But on this team, anyone can buff off at any moment.
Anybody.
Given the right, not even needing to be the right gun. It could be any gun, any place, any time, and they are there, ready to take the fights.
Yeah, legit. I don't know what else to say to you about that one. This is like an Epic Land super team. You got players like Waddles, who were the duelist superstar of Cult. Previously, he got 2nd place at this LAN in EPIC43. Then you have multiple members of not only former EXO members, you got former champions, back-to-back champions. It is an absurdly strong squad. And, you know, like I said, I mentioned this earlier before the last round, TFT are not a squad of noobs. They are not a squad of, like, diamonds or ascendants who are coming in to have a little bit of fun, maybe get themselves out of groups here. These are a really strong team, and they've proven how good they can be. Yeah. But even so, to get dominated this hard by a team outplaying them, they were not playing bad. 7F were just that good. I can't do anything else about that. This is just a stomping of a one-sided dominance against a team that is genuinely good.
Yeah, and they were fighting back the whole time. I don't know. TFT,
what do we do?
The foot was in the door the whole way through, and then we get to map 2, and suddenly, I think just 7F went, you know, I just want to win this. I want to go to bed.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And now they get to rest easy, have a nice clean night to themselves, able to just head off and get ready for the next match tomorrow, preparing for the next matches of the bracket stage on Saturday, the big day of your Epic tournament until the grand finals on Sunday. It's a busy day we have on our hands tomorrow, Jack.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, loads more games tomorrow, and I mean, of course, all those BO3s, that's where we start to see a lot of those map picks coming through. You can play a bit into your favourites.
Finally, no more Lotus and friends. Like,
it looks like we're going to get a lot more Lotus, but
I hope not. I hope we don't get too much Lotus. I mean, we had TFT won this map, we could have seen a 3rd in Haven, which would have been cinema. I would have loved Haven, but you know, it's fine. See you another time. Don't worry, it's fine. You know, we'll make our prayers tonight before we go to bed, and maybe the map fairy will give us some easier maps next time to cast outside of Lotus.
Just something other than
maybe
Lotus
we're lucky.
and Pearl, please. Just any other maps, guys. Just one more.
We've casted too many of the same maps. We need more. You know, we used to have the same issue with Ascent quite a few times ago, right? And now it's a different thing. Now it's Lotus. Please, just a different map. We need a good team that hates Lotus, that bans it all the time. We need that in our lives right now.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. I mean, that's going to be all from us tonight.
It will be all from us tonight, and that will be your final Valorant match of the day. However, tomorrow is where the real stuff starts to come in. Our bracket stage will be non-stop from the very beginning of the day up until the evening, so don't go too far away for the day. Take a little nap nearby, and then come back tomorrow for more best of threes in the bracket stage at EPIC44. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Well, not very soon. We'll see you guys tomorrow, but be there tomorrow because I'm willing to bet you're not going to want to miss it.